All right, Shalom. This is Harold One by Yasha of the GMS Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahushai, Ba Hashem, Harakar Kodash, Ma'amath. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim and Akwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of this earth. I want to read this article. This video was just sent to me, and I watched it. And it was about the OSAGE nation around the 1920s, and they were basically, it says right here the Kuwaitis of the 1920s. So they was rich with oil exports, meaning they found out they could export oil from their land. All right, but then you had Esau get involved to the point where the whole community of Edomites, which is so-called white man, they married, one of the men, Edomite men married into one of the families of Gad, right, of this tribe, the Osage. Now, to get the deeds and the paperwork of the oil in the land that the oil was found in, they went through this process of murdering each and every family member, each and every Osage Indian. It went from 2,000 Native Americans that shared in this wealth of almost 300 million in our times, but they said at that time it was like 3 million, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But they said it'd be like 400 million, 300 million in our times now. So they were making that per year. And their community held about 2,000 people, 2,000 Native Americans, and they was all wealthy. So their wealth became so big that they didn't need it, but of course our people so gullible, scriptures say that, man, our people so damn stupid that they hired Edomite men to act as personal bankers, meaning present bankers, for their money, to accountants, to follow them around, sort of like to help, all right? Like to help, or a servant. So they would hire servants, they called them guardians, meaning the people that guarded the money. But they was ripping them off, scamming them of millions. You know how Esau do, all right? But the thing is, they got to the point of actually murdering each of the guardians, which was the accountants or Edomite men. They started murdering their, the ones they worked for. And every time they looked up on this video, they looked up the chronicles or the genealogy, and it said that all of them was murdered, from 2,000 people all the way down to 27, 25 or so approximately. But that shows you the hate and the vileness of Esau, what they'll do for riches, for wealth, just for wealth, man. Just for they had that eureka moment, they'll murder everybody. All right, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 43, because the scripture said our people was too damn trusting to these damn devils, man. They mingled in with these nations. All right, and that was a curse upon us and a sign upon us forever, until the Lord takes that curse off of us, as he's doing today. It says Deuteronomy 28 and 43. The stranger that is within thee, the stranger is Esau, shall get up above thee very high. And that's what he has done. It became richer. They've stolen our heritage, stolen our customs, stolen our culture, stolen our riches. All right, so and that's what they did with the Osage Indians. Osage Indians was super rich, and they had servants being Edomites, and the Edomites actually killed each one of their damn bosses, man. Their masters, they call them that. How about that? They killed each one of their masters. So they got more, Esau prideful, man. So they killed families, they poisoned people, they blew up homes, blew up houses of women, of certain women, But a lot of you women still trust these damn devils, man. Because if a woman has sex with a so-called white man, you're gonna bring more so-called white people into this earth. But if a man has sex with any culture of woman, he's still bringing Israelites into this world, all right? But you're still not supposed to love or honor these heathens, man. But the thing is, 2/3 of our women today are still heathens as well, heathen-minded, all right? But you women got to stop trusting these damn so-called white men, yo. They actually, her husband married her, one of the women, just so he can get the deeds to the house. After everybody was murdered, the deeds were left to just him, the so-called white man, and his wife. And the last plan was for him to murder her, and then he'll be left with the deeds, and he could spread it throughout the so-called white community, and there'll be an oil-rich community. All right. So it says what? Deuteronomy 28:43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. How did he do that? Through steal, killing, and robbing, killing, and stealing. That's their way, man. All right. So you're not supposed to trust them. It says, and thou shalt come down very low. And that represents what? Hell. That's what we've been in. The children of Israel have been in the state of hell. But he said, what? We look for a new Jerusalem, wherein dwelleth righteousness, right? And where we're exalted and they're put low. The wickedness is put low. But at this moment, Esau is put up high because the earth has been given into their hand. And the scriptures say they were going to rule and gain the fatness of the earth by the sword. All right. Verse 44, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And that's the whole spirit of Esau, is to be the head, the prideful head of the damn serpent. All right. And it basically blinded our people with their false philosophies and robbed from our people. When they came over here and took the Native Americans back to Portugal, because there was so many that they were killing and poisoning that they had to go back to Portugal and get the Negro slaves, so-called Negro, Judah and Benjamin, and bring them from over here to the Americas to do the work. Because they were putting so much sickening hell on the Native American, the Gadites, man. All right, but the Gadites was resisting them. They got that fighting spirit more than Jake, because the scriptures say Judah is a lion's whelp. Who shall rouse him? He crouches down as an old lion. He comfortable in this place. He crouched down, gave up. All right, tapped out. But who gonna rouse him? The Lord gonna use Esau to rouse him. The Lord gonna use them losing money, losing the dollar, the collapse, losing their family to rouse them up, right? To Esau. When they start doing shit like this, killing whole families, killing whole communities again. This is Psalms 58:2. Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. The serpent that was in the garden, the devil, man. Right? They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. That's why scriptures say they're more subtle than any beast of the field. They're more sly and cunning and slick. They swindle you out of your money, bamboozle you. All right, the enchanter. All right, and that's what America's doing today. The so-called white man, they walking around here all willy-nilly, smiling, laughing, chilling. But the thing is, they got a judgment coming to them, and they don't even know it, because the Lord deprived them of wisdom too. They have no wisdom. They were never given wisdom. All right? Their wisdom is of this world, of carnal things, But they have a judgment coming to them. All right? Because it said that this situation happened in Oklahoma, and it's right here in America. But they still not paying them people back for that, killing off their whole families, man. All right, this is Isaiah 47:8. Therefore, now therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. See, they think because what they did to us, they don't believe that it could happen to them. Literally, the exact same way, and then some. Destroying whole families. That's going to happen to them, man. All right, the Lord is saying, put it into the children of Israel's hand yet. Now it says, verse 9, but these two, because the scriptures say this cup, which is destruction and slavery, is going to pass through unto Esau, man, which is affliction. It's going to pass through unto them. They're going to drink of that cup, and they're going to drink it all down, man. Every bit of it. All right. So it says, the loss of children, it says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments, man. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. See, they don't believe the Most High exists. That's what Esau believes, man. That's what 2/3 believe. Right? It says, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. So-called white people, man, you're not gonna know from whence all this destruction is coming when it comes to you. When the Lord, the power of God, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua of heaven, bring his destruction upon you, man. Right? Through his prophecies. It says, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. You ain't be able to pay it off, put it off, pray it off, nothing. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly when thou shalt know. So at the last second when you know, and the Lord say, what? Stand now in thine enchantments. All the shit you've been talking, all your lies, and see if it stands, see if it protects you. Right? It's not going to protect you, your idols and shit, and your witchcrafts, and your cunning plans and trickeries and plans that you have for your new world order. When we get rich. It says, standeth now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. That's why I say labor from thy youth. So what, your enchantments, you went from your birth, from being a baby speaking lies, man. As soon as you be born speaking damn lies. All right, since the so-called white man actually used the Bible in their conquest, all right, and what they called, I forgot what it was called, man. They call it Christianizing or crusade, Christianizing the world. But really, they were pushing their pagan version of the scriptures, man. All right, paganized Christendom, starting from what you call Greece and the councils of the 7 ecumenical councils of Nicaea, starting from 425 A.D. under Constantine, which was a black man. Now it says, so Esau held the book in their hand. As you see through all the movies, they holding the book, twisting the words, putting it in our face, making money, get rich schemes off of it, putting us in slavery under it. Scripture says, children, obey your masters. You know what it meant by that was obey the men that's in this truth. The ones that's over you in order. But it really meant at that time to just be in order under the people that they were working for in Rome. All right. So anyway, I'm just keep going. I don't want to get off track. So it says, whoso killeth. So since they held the scriptures, they're held accountable to all of these charges in here now. All right, since they held the book. And it says Numbers 35 and 29. So these things shall be for a statute of judgment unto you throughout your generations and all your dwellings. And this was only to the children of Israel. But these judgments and these laws fall on all the nations. Yeah, but they represent the uncircumcised, and the children of Israel represent the circumcised, meaning spiritually, right? It's set up to be that way. So they're going to be put under the law by authority, by force in the kingdom, these other nations. So it says, verse 30, whoso killeth a person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witness, but one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. Moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, all right, which is guilty of death, but he shall be surely put to death. And this is talking about the children of Israel, your brother. You know what I mean? Or in the sense of even today, you know, well, you know, that's it got to be with balance, man, because that was a different time period. Because in these times, it's scripture say hasten the day, and hastening the day means hastening the death of 2/3 of our people as well, man. Because the quicker they go, the quicker we can get out of here. But in those times, they were saying this, you know, you're not supposed to mock your brother if he slip up or he break a law. You're not supposed to mock him. You know what I mean? Because you can easily slip up and break a law too. That's what it means. But I'm gonna skip down and get to the point. Verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood, if it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. All right, so Esau shed blood in this land. So this land cannot be cleansed unless, you know, they even shed blood in our land, in Jerusalem. And the Vespasian, you know, and Titus and them, and all them Romans and the Greeks. All right, they shed blood in our land, literally, when they raided the Temple of Jerusalem in 70 AD. All right, and they slaughtered our people at Masada in 73 AD, and so on and so on. You can keep going. All the prophets, all the disciples that died over there, you know. So this land is going to be cleansed with what? The best cleaning agent you can have is fire, nuclear fire. And our land is going to be cleansed the same way. All right, so he got to take their life now. This is Isaiah 14 and 18. It says, all the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in glory, everyone in his own house. All right, but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch. This happened to us, but now it's going to happen to Esau. Right, because Esau runs Babylon. It says, as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden underfoot, thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed the land and slain the people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. So that's why the woman that you're going to see in this video, and she said her mother married a so-called white man, and they had the deeds to the land and the oil. So that makes her Edomite as well. So all the destruction going to fall on her as well, man, because that makes her a damn devil. I don't care how much she acting like a damn Native American. All right, so it says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. So everything they did to these Native Americans and to the 12 tribes of Israel by touching the apple of the Lord's eye, and the destruction that they put on Gad, and the hell they put on Gad, man. Even that wounded knee when they were poisoning them and smallpox and creating a pharmacy and medicines, and, you know, pharmakia, which is the poison and lie. Right, slaughtering us, killing all the buffaloes. and so on and so on. So it says, for I, that they do not rise nor possess the lands nor fill the face of the world with cities, man.
In an out-of-the-way corner of Oklahoma called Gray Horse, down a road you wouldn't take unless you knew what was at the other end, sits a small cemetery. It's unremarkable in many respects, until that is you look at the dates. 1923 seems to have been a particularly bad year. And when you look at the ages, it appears few died of old age. Exactly what happened out here on the Great Plains has captivated New Yorker magazine writer David Gran for the last 5 years. And what he's written...
This is a story that has real evil in it. Evil like I've never covered or ever experienced.
Really? Was that dark?
Yeah, yes. The villain in this story, or one of the villains, and the people complicit are as evil as anybody I've ever encountered.
You heard him, he said, pure wickedness, man. Let me read this. This is Hebrews 12:16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright, man. All right, so they're the sons of perdition, man. The damn devil, all right? The abomination of desolation, Esau. The spiritual demon, Satan. All right, because that's what they call it. The scripture calling the mystery of iniquity. Because they're the spirit of iniquity. You know, it says 2 Thessalonians 2:7. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he is taken out of the way. So they got to be taken out of the way because the Lord put them in that place, all right? A place of rulership to be able to swindle and kill, steal, and destroy and get away with it until their judgment time, all right? Till their time is up. It says, verse 8, and then shall the wicked be revealed. They're being revealed right now, all right? Even with this lesson, they're being revealed for their wickedness and evils. Because the scripture said that's Esau, man. It's going to be in that spirit, you know, in this purity of wickedness. Now it says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and they're consumed with the truth. When they hear the truth, that's kills these people, man. The so-called white men, they hate the truth. And these heathens and 2/3 of our people, they all hate the truth. And shall destroy him with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is at the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, see the truth, that they might be saved. All right. It say what? Because 2/3 of our people, which even these Gadites, believed a lie, believed that the so-called white man was good, they're good people. It says what? Verse 11, and for this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. All right? So that they might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. And even at that time, Gad was being wicked. You know, Gad was still being unrighteous. You see him with all their symbolisms on, and chains and necklaces. And who knows what they was doing in that town, man. You know, you could tell they wasn't believing in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, because we've lost our way ever since 722 BC, when the northern tribes were exiled out of that land. All right, and the southern tribe was exiled between 609 and 586 BC. So, all right, this is John 8:44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning. And that's towards 2/3 of our people. But it's also talking about Esau, man, the mystery of iniquity, the Romans, the Greeks, the Edomites, Idumeans. You see that? So it says, he was a murderer from the beginning, man. Who was that? Cain. Cain killed Abel. You see that? It's a straight up spiritual murderer. To that spirit of the serpent, that spirit came back on Cain. And that same spirit Even though Cain was Adam's son, the spirit, that wicked spirit was on Cain. And then that wicked spirit showed up on Esau and spread out throughout his nation. It said the hatred towards what? The children of Israel, which is really towards the righteous, right? Their hatred towards righteousness went down into their bowels, meaning forever. All right, to Esau's bowels, their hatred towards good, towards righteousness, man, towards the children of Israel. Because even though our people are wicked, we're still more righteous than these other nations. If you look throughout history, I mean, not currently. Now it says, he was a murderer, verse 44. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it, man.
His quest took him to the Osage Nation, a remote territory in Oklahoma about the size of Delaware. Like much of the area that was set aside for Native Americans, it wasn't exactly prime real estate. But in the early 1920s, something happened out here that no one expected. An oil rush.
Most white settlers saw it as the ground as being rocky and infertile. And then lo and behold, this land turned out to be sitting above some of the largest oil deposits in the United States.
All right, this is Psalm 62 and 9. It says, surely men of low degree are vanity. So the Edomites, Caucasians, cave dwellers are what? Base men, children of base men. But the Lord said what? They're going to get up very high above us. And they've done that. Only because it's the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua to show his power in the same way he raised up Pharaoh to destroy him. Because scriptures say what? He created the wicked for the day of evil, to show his patience and mercy on his children, man. All right? And long suffering. So it says, surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie. So they naturally liars, man. All right? To be laid in the balance, they are altogether lighter than vanity. You know, so rich or poor still doesn't change their spirit, man. Just like 2/3 of our people, they get money and wealth, they still wicked as hell, man. It still doesn't change their judgment. Verse 10, it says, trust not in oppression. And that's what Esau trusted in. They trusted in damn oppressing of the people. And become not vain in robbery. All right, the robber, the thief, that's Esau. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. All right. This is Psalms 10 and 2. The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. In his pride, that's at Obadiah chapter 1, where it says, Esau, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee. That's a prideful nation, man. A base people that have lifted up themselves in mind and in their imaginations. Right? Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. All right? So they're going to fall by their own damn creations, man. Pushing that rock up a hill and they roll back down on themselves. Digging a ditch and falling therein. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire. They boast, that's what they've been doing, man. That's what you call media or tabloids or promotions. Promotional ads and shit like that. Promoting, and we're going business plans and 10-year plans of a bigger city and smart cities and all this shit. RFID chip and New World Orders. So it says what? For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom Yahweh abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. For Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. Why? Because he's a born liar from the beginning, and it's impossible for them to get this truth. Because they're the father of it. They're the ones that's opposing the truth. All right? His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He saith in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. All right, like the villages of the Gadites at that time in OSAGE out there in Oklahoma. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He, right, what does the scripture say? Satan going across the whole world, seeking to and fro, seeking whom he may devour. And that spirit is on Esau, doing it in the physical. It says what? He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. All right, that's the whole New World Order, man. You know, that's the spirit of Esau, hiding and lynching people and shit like that. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. The poor represents the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, man. All right. He doeth catch the poor. See, he did. When he drove him into his net, and he drew these Gadites, these specific ones, into his net. All right, because this happened to all the tribes of Israel. But the Osage Indians, this is what I'm focused on with this topic. But he drew them into the net by saying, hey, let me be your guardian, and I'll be your accountant, and I'll help you not lose any money because y'all don't know how to handle money. Y'all are indigenous people, so, you know, let us deal with our people. Esau was trying to just say, hey, let us deal with Esau, and y'all just make money, and we'll make sure y'all don't mess it up. So they were stealing from them, and then at the end they wound up killing them and murdering them for the deeds for the ownership of the land. So what it says, he drove him into his net. I killed all of them off, all the ones you see in the pictures, man. He croucheth and humbleth himself, acting all friendly with him. See that? And he humbled himself as a servant or a guardian, as he called it, guarding the money. It says that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He have said in his heart, Yahweh have forgotten he hideth his face, he will never see it. All right, but the scriptures say 1,000 years is as a day to the Lord. So it hasn't been that long, man. All right, it's only been like a day and a half since they did, or a day in some weeks. All right, a day and a half to the Most High in a couple hours since they did that in 1920s. And it says, actually, I'm gonna stop right there.
Overnight, the Osage, who owned the land's mineral rights, went from being among America's poorest to the richest people per capita in the world.
One Osage writer later described them as the Kuwaitis of the 1920s.
Like, how much money were we talking?
Oh, they were drawing millions. So by 1923, the Osage collectively received that year more than $30 million, which today would be worth the equivalent of more than $400 million. And this was being split up by a group of about 2,000 people.
With the oil royalties, the Osage built...
All right, it's been split up by about 2,000 Gadites, all right, which is Native Americans today.
They hired white servants. They drove the finest cars. Osage towns like Pawhuska became bustling cities, flush with cash.
They hired white servants, Edomite servants, and that was where the trick happened at, man. They let Esau in. They should have kept Esau out and just handled their own money. And you see that? But Jake always feel like they need some damn help, or they need somebody to hold their damn hand, man. Always looking for a damn leader, always looking for a king or advisor, somebody to guide them and shit. The scripture said we are our people have been lost sheep, man. You know, looking for a damn shepherd. Yeah, but hey, the Lord always sends somebody. Here you go. You want your guardian, right? Okay then.
And the biggest oil barons of the day.
In the 1920s, this was just one of the most booming towns in all of the West. It was famous across the West because there was so much money here.
The U.S. government, however, didn't let the Osage control that money. Each
See, but now they kicking them out of the lands and still tormenting them to this day by what? Putting oil pipelines on their land. It's crazy, man. Esau is crazy, man. Running oil pipelines across their land, even though they stole the oil from them in the beginning anyway.
ward, as the Osage were called, was assigned a white guardian, supposedly to protect the Osage from mismanaging their newfound wealth. But the law actually just invited abuse.
So there were kickbacks, there was skimming, and in many cases there was just outright stealing where they would just abscond with millions of dollars from these Osage. And the Osage never saw this money again.
But the worst of the worst conspired to do far more than steal.
This is John 10:10. It says, the thief, that's what Esau is, the thief, man. The fucking thief, man. They stole everything. They stole their riches, they stole they stole the lands, they stole our culture, you know, everything, even their idols, they stole those from these damn other heathens. They stole their cultures. You see that? You know, but they stole everything, man. But let's mainly focus on the children of Israel, though. You know, they stole what the scriptures say in Maccabees, where they sought to paint the images of their likeness, saying that the Lord is a so-called white man when he's a so-called black man, a so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah. That's what he truly is, a so-called Negro. All right? Yahweh. And so on, man. They just stole everything, man. They just imposter nation. Esau, so-called white man. All right? It says, the thief cometh not but for to steal. If they show up, whatever nation they showed up in, whatever country, if they show up there, even in Iraq, even in the Middle East today, wherever they show up, if they show up, they showing up to kill, steal, and destroy, period. They're not showing up for any other reason, man. They're not going to show up and just say, hey, man, have a good one. I like your land. No, they coming to take it, take your family, and use you, you know, and abuse you. So it says, what? The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly, man, the children of Israel. So we have life through this truth. But if not, you remain in the congregation of the dead and you walk around dead upon your feet while all these nations looking right at you and the so-called white man looking at you like, hey, nigger, hey, spook, hey, black man, hey, wetback, Indian, or whatever they call us, man, redskin. You know, when they the real redskins, man. And we're the real white people, meaning pure. Right? The Esau is red, man. Right? Of course, we only pure if we had this truth. That's what I meant. So I said, what? The thief coming forth, but only to steal, kill, and destroy. And he said that's what they did, man. They stole everything, you know, and they were stealing money. And now it turned from that to murder and killing. Just to get them out the way, and they succeeded.
When he uncovered a dusty ledger in the archives.
And I opened up the book, and it had the name of the guardian, and then underneath it had the names of the wards. Next to many of the names of the wards, it simply said the word dead. And then you go down to another Osage ward, and next to the name it said dead, dead. Skip a few more. Dead, dead, dead.
All right, this is Zechariah 2:7. Deliver thyself, O Zion. How you deliver yourself? By turning to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know. Now, and it's now and not later. It says, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babel. So we dwell with the daughter of Babel, dwell in America, right? In the midst of these devils still, man. You know. And that's the measure that he said he's going to cast our people in the midst of a wicked nation, wicked and perverse people. It says, for thus saith Yahweh of hosts, of armies, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations, which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you, toucheth the apple of his eye. You know? So all these nations that have touched us and been confederate against us with Esau, the ambassador amongst the heathen. The scriptures say what? They that touch us, that touch the Gadites and so on and so on, have touched the apple of the Lord's eye. It says, for behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants, and ye shall know that Yahweh have sent me. Right, this is Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured. And all these nations being devoured today, and they're going to be devoured in the World War III, and also when the Lord raises up his elect with spiritual power, right? And also, and really when Yahweh Shah shows up, and the angels going to devour these damn people, you know, and Yahweh Shah. So it says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, because the scriptures say what? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword shall be killed with the sword. And that's what the Lord gonna have happen to them, man. He gonna allow these Gadites to fight back someday and defend themselves. You know, 2/3 of them might not make it out of America or out of this bondage. But the scriptures say, at the end of the day, all Israel shall be saved. All right. So now it says, for lo, verse 16, every one of them shall go into captivity. All of them gonna go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil. And all that prey upon thee shall I give for a prey. The rich could say, wait for the Lord till he rise up to the prey. So we supposed to wait on the Lord, man. Wait on Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the so-called black man with white woolly hair, man, from the tribe of Judah. All right, so scripture say, I will restore your health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith Yahweh, because they call thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. And that's what these nations have done, man. They like, oh shit, let me just go ahead and take whatever from them and kill them like they ain't nothing. They don't know that they were touching the apple of the Lord's eye, an important people, a people that's above all nations upon the earth, a people of hope.
One by one, the Osage were being murdered. Between 1921 and 1925, the official number was 27. It became known as the Osage Reign of Terror.
There were shootings.
So it got down to 27 something people. That's it, out of 2,000 or 5,000, whatever it was.
Poisonings. One man was thrown off a speeding train. The terror was enormous because nobody knew who would be next, but also nobody was doing anything to stop it.
Few families suffered more than Molly Burkhart's.
Yeah, that's why I said nobody was doing anything to stop it. So what? They believed that nobody cared about this people, right?
This kind of sad, doesn't she? Her eyes look sad.
Margie Burkhart is her granddaughter.
You'd have to be incredibly, incredibly strong to even face half of what she went through.
See, right there, that's a confusion of face. Scripture say, what unto us is a confusion of face, because this her daddy right there. A straight up redneck devil, damn demon, man, was popping this Gadite, this foolish ass Gadite woman, and just to get the deeds to the land where the oil was at. And he was the main one murdering her whole family. And she didn't even know it. And these two idiots ended up with the deeds of the murdered family members. And the last plan was for him to kill her. Damn stupid idiot, man.
Her grandmother had married a young Texan named Ernest Burkhart, who was the nephew of the most powerful man in Osage County, William K. Hale. Hale wasn't entitled to any Osage oil money, but as Molly's husband, his nephew Ernest was. They hadn't been married long when Molly's older sister Anna was found murdered in this ravine. He was last seen heading here with 2 white men.
One of the killers held her up. The other killer shot her right in the back of the head.
2 months after that, Molly's mother, Lizzie, died suspiciously. Molly believed she had been poisoned. 2 years after that, another sister, Rita, died when her house exploded. The cause? A homemade bomb. The family's oil rights ended up...
Instead of homemade bomb, so they blew the lady house up, man. Esau, like, is fucking cold, man. All right, this is Deuteronomy 28:49, and this whole chapter is a prophecy of Esau being sent against us, all right, as the final judgment set up for, the end time prophecies, man. So this is Deuteronomy 28:49. Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as far as swift as the eagle flieth. And that's the symbol, is the eagle of Rome and America. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. All right, so our people that understand the English and shit like that. So a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. So they didn't regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young, man. They didn't care in any sense, to any of the Gadites that they killed and murdered, to any of the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, at any time period, in Rome, in Greece, in America, so they had no remorse on our people, man, ever. So it says a nation of fierce countenance. So they were fierce, man. They ruled with iron, iron hold on us, man.
In the hands of the only family members still alive, Molly and her husband, Ernest.
It's just sad. The whole family just wiped out for nothing more than somebody's greed.
Because at least one of the murders took place on federal land, the FBI was brought in. It was the young...
This is Ecclesiastes 8:11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men, all these nations, and also the sons of the wicked, is fully set in them to do evil. So all these nations and 2/3 of our people is fully set in them to do evil, man. Because the sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily. So they don't believe there's judgment coming for what they was doing. But there is. It says, though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahweh, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before Yahweh, man. Right? Because the scripture said, they rule for a short season and they go straight into perdition. That's what they're doing right now, man. Came out of Europe, out of the pit, to go straight into perdition, go into World War III, their own destruction. This is Job 20:11. It says, I will teach you by the hand of Yahweh, that which is with the Almighty will I not conceal. Behold, all ye yourselves have seen it. Why then are ye thus altogether vain? This is the portion of the wicked man with the Most High. So this is where they stand with the Most High, man. The Most High hates wicked, man. He hates the wicked people. And the heritage of the oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. So this is what he's going to give to them in the future. If his children be multiplied, which they are today, so-called white men all over the four corners of the earth, and they're always saying the same shit. I didn't put you in slavery. but you're your same forefathers coming back in the flesh every 300 to 400 years. It said, but if you be multiplied, your children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. All right. It says what? Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide it, man. You know, he buildeth his house as a moth, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He openeth his eyes, and he is not. Terror shall take hold on him as waters, as a tempest. A tempest stealeth him away in the night. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departeth as a storm hurleth him out of his place. Man, so I'm gonna stop there with that. But it says what? Their offspring gonna be destroyed, because all these devils, even this lady acting like she a Gadite, but her dad was the so-called white man that was doing the murders, she's gonna pay for her father's sins. All right, for that sadness that she saw in her mother's eyes. You see that? So this is their portion, man. And if your children be multiplied, it's for the sword, for destruction.
And a young J. Edgar Hoover wanted it solved. It was so high profile, it was even featured in a movie.
Right, J. Edgar Hoover was a Jake too, man. He was a so-called black man.
Starring Jimmy Stewart.
So there's only one little Indian left, Mr. McCutcheon. Molly, the wife of your nephew here.
The real-life agents began to zero in on Molly's husband. He was arrested and brought here for trial.
But the courthouse hasn't changed at all,
No,
right?
it looks just the way it looked back in 1926 when the trial took place here.
What unfolded at the old Pawhuska courthouse was sensational, to say the least.
This would have been, in its day, considered the trial of the century.
Under oath, Ernest admitted it was his own brother who'd murdered Molly's sister, Anna, and that his uncle, that benign-looking William K. Hale, had ordered it, along with the murder of Molly's other sister, Rita. Worst of all, the plan, it seemed, was for Ernest himself to finish the job by murdering Molly, getting sole possession of the oil rights.
When Molly realized that her husband who had helped search for the killers, was in fact the killer, she could never look at him again.
But that's hardly where the story ends. Grand believes there were far more murders than the FBI ever investigated.
And when I began researching the story, I thought of it as a traditional mystery. You know, you think about your stories, right? Who done it? And by the end, I realized this wasn't a who done it, it was who didn't do it. I mean, so many people were part of this.
The whole town, almost, at least the white part of town.
Was complicit.
This is Obadiah 1:8. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mountain of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau shall be cut off by slaughter. So all your children, all your descendants, you got a judgment coming to you, man. All right? I don't care what color you are. If you're an Edomite, so-called white person, back in this flesh, you got straight, hardcore, cold, 1,000 years of pure hell coming to you. And then eradication from existence. That's what's coming to you, man. You're going to be the one that feel that. It says what? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob. All right? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, and Gad being one of those tribes. One of the tribes of Jacob, tribes of Israel. Shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, man. In the day, actually, I'm going to just cut it right there. So I'm going to end it with this scripture here. It says, Genesis 49:18. I have waited for thy salvation, O Yahweh. Gad, which is the Native American which was those Osage Native Indians. All right, those were one of the tribes of Gad. All right, it says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. The scriptures also say Judah gonna do the same. All right, so everything Esau did to us, they got hell coming for him, man. Scriptures say hell had come up to meet thee at that coming. You know. All right, so with that, I'm gonna say, Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakah Kodash, Ma'amath. Double honor to the elder apostles, the GMS, and their elders. And shalom to you, Akim and Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and the truth, man, and that are waiting for the return of Yahweh Shai, so-called Negro, you know, from the tribe of Judah, you know, and death to America and death to the so-called white man's rulership and the nation as a whole, man, because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, have called you to that heritage and to that destiny. And as written of in the book of Amos 9, chapter 9. All right, he said what? He called you people heathens. So we do the same. We're his voice, his mouthpiece. All right, so you're going to pay for everything you did to the Osage warriors, you know, because that's what they were, warriors, you know. But they became strangers, and y'all took advantage of that and took advantage of their wealth and money. So with that, man, I'm going to say, Shalom. I hope this was edifying.